All right, so we should be live. Just hold on a second. All right, so yeah, we're live. Welcome to the channel, guys. It's Rad from Radko Tarot, and in this whole video, we're going to look into the new moon in Aquarius that happens at the 11th of February 2021, which is actually today for me, and tomorrow for you, which are into the Western Hemisphere. America, Canada, and so on and so forth. So just a few notes before we start and dive into the star signs. So we do have, especially for the lunar cycles, we do have, or I do have, a five card spread, which is gonna run through the all star signs. Hello, Jane. It's going to run through all of the star signs, and also there are going to be 3 giveaways throughout the live stream. 3 readings are going to be gifted away to you, the viewers. And in order to participate into these 3 readings, you have to wait up until the break happens. So after every 4 star signs, I do make a break. And when the break is announced, you do have a time to input your question here into the comments of the live stream, and I'm going to pick a question and I'm going to perform a professional reading here on stream on that question. Please do not spam the chat. Spammers are going to be pretty much disregarded, and I'm not going to, even if I find it interesting, I'm not going to pick the question on purpose. Another thing as well, guys, it is that if you do want a personal reading with me, or you want to take my tarot classes, you want to learn to read the cards the same way I do, you can go to my website, which you're going to find into the post, but probably right after the live stream. I'm going to edit it right now, actually, here. Just hold on a second. Into the description that is going to be. All right, so right now it's there, and at this website you're gonna see the full list of my services, as well their pricing, so you can pick whichever service fits your budget and your needs. So guys, without a further ado, hello everybody who is joining in. Without further ado, let's move to the very first star sign we're going to look into, and that is going to be Aries. By the way, what I forgot to mention here is up until when this takes, this lunar cycle is in effect, and that is up until 27th of February, 3:17 a.m. So 3:17 at 27th of February, you move into the next lunar cycle, and this is when the new energies are going to take place. So let's shuffle the cards and see what Aries are going to experience. Hello, Dimple. Right, so the first one for Aries, that is to be the Ace of Cups. Moving next, we do have the 4 of Pentacles, but I need to track on the data here, guys, all right? So next one is going to be the 4 of Pentacles. Moving next, what we do have, that is to be the 4 of Cups, followed by the Devil card, and the last one we do have for you, Aries, that is to be the Knight of Wands here. Okay. Well, I'm happy that you are here as well, Dimple. I'm also happy that you guys can kind of like attend to the live stream as well. So Aries, that is going to be a very powerful couple of weeks that you are going to have for it. Within these couple of weeks, you guys are to learn that, you know, you do have a goal, you do have a dream, right? And at some points, people may think that that is kind of like a wishful thinking and that they can never do it. Well, you will have to guess again throughout these couple of weeks, especially with the lesson that you are to learn. It is that, you know, whatever you yearn for, it has a reason, it has a purpose, and definitely there is a way to it. There is definitely a way through it. And looking at the very first cards as well, by the way, that is a dedicated spread as well for the lunar cycle also, okay? And that's why I'm reading it that way. So looking at the very first cards here, it seems that also you will have the circumstances just right in order to follow these, or rather like accomplish these, how can I say, yearnings. I'll classify them that way. Yearnings of your existence and as well of your soul. And also a better thing, it is that you do have multiple tries in order to get the right approach. So you are kind of like shielded, or if you will, deprived from making any mistakes whatsoever. Well, you can do mistake, but that is going to bounce you back so you can try anew. And for that reason, you need to be very enterprising throughout these couple of weeks. You need to constantly, you know, jump from one thing into another, follow and chase your interest as well, and in generally stick up with what works for you. Don't mind the crowd, all right? Whatever works for the crowd, it may not necessarily work for you in the next couple of weeks, and that's why you're going to accomplish your personal needs, not the needs of the crowd. Now, on the more negative side that we can say here from these cards, Aries, these couple of weeks are going to be weeks where you are going to be thrown into the blue, if I may say it that way. That is because the situation, or rather like the circumstances, the environment that you will have to work into is going to be rather severely unknown, and you will have to kind of like figure things on the go. You will have to figure things on the fly, and that's why throughout the whole endeavor, throughout the whole couple of weeks, it will feel like, you know, you are just how can I say, catching up the last minute, catching up the last second, doing the right thing at the very last possible moment. So you are going to feel throughout the whole thing very uncertain, and it's kind of like that you are almost, you know, almost on time, almost on performance, and so on and so forth. And the last thing that's I can advise you here throughout these couple of weeks is that you should keep up to your interest. Whatever feels boring, whatever feels kind of like depressing as well, and whatever feels stoic for you, should not be a thing that you should throw any resources into. So that was Aries. Now moving next, we are going to have a Taurus. So Taurus, first card we do have for you guys, that is to be the Eight of Swords. Moving next, we do have the Six of Swords, followed by the Three of Pentacles. Afterwards, that is to be the Four of Wands, and the last one that we do have the Fool. Those 5 cards. And for you, these couple of weeks that are coming up are the weeks of negotiations, if I may say it that way. So you will have the enviable task here to make the people see the reality, to make the people to see the truth. That is going to be rather quite uncomfortable for you, for what it seems, at least looking throughout the cards. That is because you won't be able to tackle with your endeavors alone, and you will constantly have to, how can I say, keep up pushing or explaining why everybody should work together, because you do have a common goal, because you do have a common agenda as well. Now, important thing to be acknowledged, it is that The thing that you're going to learn throughout this cycle, Taurus, is the true value of what you are after, and at some point it will be a beneficial. I hate using this expression, but it will be beneficial for you to bend the knee. That the result at the end is going to justify its means, is going to justify that bending the knee. But in the grand scheme of things, whatever you will have to do as a, how do you say, as a compromise, I'm going to say it that way, is not going to have any long-term consequences here. That it is seen within the Fool card that falls into the 5th position of the card. But instead, people are going to accept you as a more versatile and more innocent and more pure, and that is going to open more allegiance, or rather like a more alliances to come into play within your environment. Now, important thing for you to do throughout these couple of weeks is to gather up as many support as possible, because for what it seems, after these couple of weeks, you're going to need that support to push you through your development. So take these couple of weeks, Taurus, as a preparation for a true strive after this lunar cycle is over. And you may be, how can I say, you may find yourself a bit afraid, you know, to approach this party or that party or this, how can I say, society. But in reality, there is nothing for you to be afraid of, because if you don't ask, the answer always is going to be no. But the biggest obstacle that you're going to face here throughout these next couple of weeks, it is not the confirmation, but kind of like the acknowledgement that with certain enterprises, you do need help. And being ignorant for that, it is like you're just posting, or rather like posing a limitations upon yourself and upon as well your endeavor, that they cannot be lifted but by yourself as well, recognizing that with somebody or with certain force you can work much better and you can actually achieve what you are after. So here what I can advise you is just to put your pride on the shelf, put your shyness as well, and just approach the party that does have the means necessary for you to chase your goal forward. So moving next, we do have Gemini. Yes. All right, so Gemini, first one, we do have the 9 of Pentacles. Moving next, that is to be the Death card, followed by the High Priestess. And I don't even need to get the last 2 cards, because it's pretty clear what that thing is all about for you, Gemini. Afterwards, we do have the 7 of Pentacles, and at the end, that is to be the 10 of Cups. And it's going to be a very short read for you guys. That is pretty much, that is like a warning here, okay, that you are about to give up on a thing that you definitely will never gonna have a chance to experience moving forward in your life. And whatever you think you are about to do, especially burning a bridge, okay, burning a bridge with your I don't know, with your previous employer, burning a bridge with an ex, burning a bridge with a friend, that will be the thing that there is no going back from. I mean, you cannot recover this bridge. So even though you may feel entitled to do so for one way or another, it will be best if you think thoroughly about it. I mean, give yourself a little bit of a time, at least these couple of weeks. Even if you do have to ultimately burn that bridge, to do it in a fashion that is going to benefit all of you, but not just you, and it seemingly is going to benefit you, or ultimately is going to serve to your detriment. Aside from that, it seems that throughout these couple of weeks, you are going to figure out, and that is exactly the term here, figure out what is your leap forward. What is the deal? What is the job? Who is the person? Take it the way it suits you best, but that is literally the translation of the cards. And in most of the cases, you ain't gonna like the answer here, because it's gonna prove you wrong in many aspects that you had as a vision, that you do have as a concept. And that is going to make you question yourself as well. That is going to make you reevaluate, your position, reevaluate your way of thinking. But ultimately, at the end, I do believe that you're going to see why, what happens to be substantial to you goes against what you think is best. That is because you are aiming for, how can I say? I will say it that way. That is because you are aiming, say, to build up a lot of money, not recognizing that money cannot buy you happiness. That is no different than, working to earn money without realizing that money cannot buy you health. Yeah, they can buy you trinkets, they can buy you pills, they cannot buy you health, nor they can buy you happiness, nor they can buy you, they can buy you men and women, but they cannot buy you love as well. So here, throughout the next couple of weeks, you are to, and you may not agree with me, but it seems that you are to realize that you are focusing on the wrong thing. And reprioritizing that focus is going to make you realize that you're about to lose something that there is no going back from. Right, so that was Gemini, and now moving next, we do have a Cancer. Don't be scared, Jennifer. I never said it's going to be a bad experience, all right? Just never said it is going to be a bad experience. Right, so Cancer, first one we do have for you, that is going to be the Temperance. Moving next, we do have the Five of Wands. Afterwards, that is to be the Six of Wands, followed by the Three of Cups. And the last one we do have, that will be the Fool once again. Hello, Katrina. So Cancer reading, how do I put it? It's about Cancer. It's about siding with your enemy. There is no different than, you're battling with somebody, or kind of like being very hard, or having it very hard to get the same page, to get on the same page with somebody. Say it's very hard for you to get on the same page with a parent of your girlfriend or a boyfriend, to get on the same page with a colleague of yours, and the interaction in between you two, it kind of seems very toxic, and it seems that there is no fixing it. It seems futile, right? And suddenly throughout these couple of weeks, there will be a problem, unfortunately, that comes through a dynamic of the situation. It comes out of nowhere. But this problem is not going to affect you directly, nor is going to affect the other side directly. However, it's going to affect you both, and you together need to work to resolve the problem. What that is going to bring you is going to bring the respect, in a sense of that the other party is going to respect you as you are going to start respecting them. And while at the end, you are not going to be on the same page once again, you are not going to despise one another. And instead, while you are not agreeing with each other's opinion, you are going to respect each other's opinion, and you are going to leave each other alone. And in peace, that is. And even more so, whenever you do need help, you will know that you can rely on one another to come to each other's how can I say, end, all right, to come to each other's aid, I'm sorry, that I said. So in other words here, Cancer, you are going to have the recognition you deserve, as you are going to give a recognition as well that it is deserved also. And that will sprinkle a lot of compassion and solidarity within the environment, that you do have those arguments and that you do have that lack of compromise, if I may say it that way, that from now on, the interaction in between you and this person is not going to be kind of like a ideal, but it's also going to be very spontaneous, pure, and innocent as well. And at the end of the day, what you are supposed to learn from all that, at least according to the tarot cards, it is that everybody has their own life, and you don't get to judge anybody, nor you can allow somebody to judge you, for neither you know what they are going through, nor they know what you are going through as well. What you can do, it is just, you know, share a common cause, share a common goal, get the results done, and after that, keep up living your life the way you find it best to live. Hello, Shari. Right, so that was the first 4 star signs, guys. That was the first cluster, and now the first break happens. And for those which are new into the live stream, into the breaks, I am giving away a free reading. So all that you gotta do in order to classify for the free reading is that you do input your comment, or rather like you do input your question into the comments down below. Don't spam though. And after actually 3 minutes here, I'm going to pick up a one question, and I'm going to perform a professional reading on it. Yeah, I'm quite well, Katrina. What is so confusing for the Gemini reading, Anna? What did you find confusing? No, it's not going to have a negative result. Florimo, yeah, you should post the question here into the comments. No, it's not going to have a negative result. It's just, you know, you change your perspective, which is why it's not going to have a negative result. Every time changing perspective has a positive result. You're welcome, Anna. That was what the Gemini reading was all about. That, you know, you're way too, or Gemini is way too rushed to wave their hand on a thing, may that be a relationship or a job or a project or even a friendship, you know, without realizing how profitable and how lucrative, you know, and how happy that thing could be for them, only if they reevaluate the situation and look at it from a different perspective. My Aquarius reading, we haven't reached yet Aquarius. Kyrell. I hope I don't butcher your name. You feeling confused? Ask me. I mean, that is, something is going on into the sky. Especially we do have 2 big planets. I'm going to tell you which planets those are. Just hold on a second. Saturn and Uranus are going to start dancing with each other very, very soon. And they're going to dance in the sky for entire year, okay? And truth be told, it's very difficult for me this week to perform the weekly readings. It's so difficult to tap in, you know, and to give the coherent message. That doesn't affect the private readings though, or when I do have a question, but the generalized readings, they are very difficult. And that has something to do with the skies. There are many transits approaching, many transits within 2 weeks. So it's an explosive time that comes in. All right, so we do have a very good question which completely fits within the tarot, how can I say, specialization. And it's submitted by Floremo, and that will be, I would like an advice to find the right person for me. So what the cards are going to show is, you know, what traits you should look for, and also, if you will, what to focus on yourself in order to attract and find the right person for you. No, you're not the only one feeling strange. Everybody's feeling strange. You may not know the Pisces moonbeam because she's not very active on this channel, but that is an astrologer that works with me, and she is experiencing exactly the same thing. It's very difficult to tap in and to translate a coherent message, even if you will, through astrology as well. So there is something going on into the sky that is making it difficult for these divination tools to work. So, oh my God, that name, Florimel. First one we do have it is the Star card. Moving next, that will be Justice. And the last one, we do have 10 of Swords here, okay? And it's pretty clear from these cards, it's first things first. There should be no compromises whatsoever with your ideals and with your criteria as well, with your, how can I say, goals when it comes to love. Now the right one, what the right one is going to offer to you, or what they should offer to you, it's a straight away said balance. What I mean is that this person should not be afraid to undertake, nor they should strain away or make any excuses about to undertake their part of the relationship, okay? In a sense of that, I would say that way, the unfolding love of the right one that you are going to associate yourself with is not going to be through the butterflies in the stomach, all right? It's not going to be because your feet swipe off the ground when you see the person, but it is because that person will show you through actions that they are that they are not just only willing, but also prepared and ready to pull their own weight in this relationship, and that relationship is not going to feel one-sided. Additionally to that, they will have a lot to offer to you, I mean, straight away, in a sense of contribution for your wellness, for your well-being, and as well for your ideals. And also, they're not going to be afraid to face, so to speak, the ugly truth, in a sense of that they completely recognize that there are going to be, you know, ups and downs within the relationship, and they do not strain away as well to make the tough calls. Also, how can I say it? Pretty much, whenever you do involve yourself with somebody, if they tell you that they don't know how they see themselves, or they don't know how they should act within this relationship, that is not the right one for you. The right one for you will always know what follows next. They will always have an end goal, like, for example, family, like, for example, living together, like, for example, engagement as well. These ones that are just living for the moment, those are not the right ones for you. Hello, Tessa. Thank you for being around. Thank you for being here. Well, thank you, Juliet. Thank you for your feedback. It truly means a lot to me. Although I don't remember. Oh my God. Oh, you were that 1 hour reading. Yeah. Well, I'm very pleased to hear that. I'm very pleased about it. Well, Floramo, you need to know that most of the time, people don't want serious relationships, but they have a lot of shenanigans to deal with anyway, and they just want to have fun. All right, they just want to kind of like have somebody to meet with, and that will be all of it. Hello, Deck. The free reading has been already given away, the first free reading, but you can stick around for the second and the third one. I may pick your question, who knows? So with that being said, hello, Three House. Welcome from Sofia, Bulgaria. We are on the opposite sides of the world. So with that being said, moving next, we do have Leo. And let me shuffle the cards and see what Leo has. You do ask a question when I do announce a break. Right now, the break just ended. And now we are moving to the next 4 star signs. All right, so for Leo, the first one we do have, that is to be the Knight of Wands. Afterwards, that will be the Eight of Swords, followed by the Star card. Moving next, that will be the King of Wands. And the last one here for Leo, that is to be the Three of Swords. So it's a pretty... how can I say, short reading for Leo as well. Now, funny thing, guys, weekly readings, like I said, oh my God, it's a nightmare to perform there. They could be interpreted in so many ways. And these readings, however, here for the full moon, or for the new moon, I'm sorry, into Aquarius, they're very, how can I say, indicative. They are kind of like very narrow. And for Leo, the reading is all about their personal limitations, if you will, or kind of like that. I would try to explain it that way. Leo set themselves a goal, right? I mean, you have set in front of yourself a goal. And what you do not realize right now is that this goal is very underwhelming for your own personal capabilities. So in the next couple of weeks, Leo, it seems that you are going to undertake a lot of enterprises, or in other words, you are going to become a very enterprising individual. That is going to focus more upon a long-term perspectives rather than a short-term ones. And what that is going to allow you is to transform a short-term happiness into a long-term happiness as well. Highly likely is also, Leo, that you are going to start developing romance. Now, I don't know how to explain it. It's a romance, but it's a romance not because, you know, you're going to crush into somebody, but it is because you're going to see potential into this person to be a very compatible companion, if that makes sense. But that is of course by a long shot above everything else for you guys. It seems that you will be able to accomplish a lot throughout these couple of weeks, establishing rather a foundation or for a big accomplishments that are to follow afterwards. Now, the good thing though, it is that whatever problems you do had and whatever turmoil you had experienced, it's going to be gone. It's no longer going to be there. It's your path forward is pretty much cleared. And what you're going to adopt as a lesson from these couple of weeks, it is that whenever the environment clears up, right, you have no longer issues, you have no problems, you do not feel resentful, you do not feel bad about recent breakup, you do not feel entitled anymore to some kind of like a very demanding job. That is the moment and the time where you do set up an ambition of yours, and that ambition should be chased. And that ambition should give a sole purpose in your life. And what was the last card? We do have the Three of Swords as the last card. So Three of Swords here, what it plays a role as, it is a shield from a past poignant experience. What it means, it is that this new ambition of yours, it may be very similar to something you failed in the past. Like, for example, if that is about a romance, like I said, you know, this romance may look like very similar to the one that ended up pretty terribly for you. But instead of being discouraged here, you're going to be more determined to make this one work, just to prove yourself that you can do it this time around. So that is how the Three of Swords does develop for you. It's kind of like handicapping yourself just to prove that you can definitely do it. But what I can advise you for these couple of weeks, whatever the odds are, don't stop trying to find a way through, for eventually you're going to find what works for you. Right, so that was Leo, and now moving next, we do have Virgo. Right, so Virgo, first one, we do have the Knight of Pentacles. Moving next, that is to be the Seven of Cups, followed by the Ace of Pentacles. Afterwards, that is to be the Two of Swords. And the last one for you guys, we do have the Sun, like that. All right, so pretty clear for you as well with this reading. Now, your development of these couple of weeks have already have been, how can I say, set it up. What I mean is that you have, without probably you do even realizing it, you have structured everything you gotta do and everything that you are to experience within the next couple of weeks. And while you have made a good job setting it up for yourself, about your life, about your career, about your relationship as well, you still are going to find yourself disappointed by that development. And I'm going to tell you why. It is because it's not going to develop as fast as you would want it to develop. It is because you do have certain expectations that are pretty much unjustified expectations based on the resources you had to work with. And here I need to explain myself a little bit more. Now, you did a crazy good job about evaluating the situation beforehand, before you enter into this new moon into Aquarius lunar cycle. And you structured whatever plan you had or whatever chain of events you are about to follow in the next couple of weeks with extreme precision. And now as you do move forward and as you do see your things developing, as you do see your things materializing, back in the days or back before that, that lunar cycle, you do have in mind what you wanted. And now that expectations is artificially lifted up. And so what you have wanted beforehand is not enough at that particular point. And here is where the madness is kind of like roaming around, that you may strain away from the original plan, that it is otherwise, like I said, brilliantly constructed, and instead force, how can I say, circumstances that are going to push the equilibrium out, and actually you do have more to lose than actually to gain from all that. So the lesson that you need to learn here from this cycle are actually a couple of lessons. One of them is that when you do set a motion, you have to trust that motion, its natural development. And the other lesson that you need to learn is that it is easy to judge, or kind of like, no, this is how should I explain it. It is easy to make an evaluation after you do see how the results play out, in comparison to make an evaluation before you initiate an action. And that's why you should not be too rough on yourself. You should not be too hard on yourself that you have not foreseen that the plan is going to develop slower than you want it to develop. Now, that being said, guys, on a more practical level with this reading, it is a very big chances for you, Virgo, to make reconciliations, right? With exes, ex-partners, ex-business partners, ex-co-workers, ex-lovers, ex-friends as well. And should that is to happen, how can I say, you as well need not to rush it, but instead allow it to develop very, very naturally. These people to prove that they earn your trust once more. So that was about Virgo. And now moving next, we do have Libra. Yeah, exactly. Don't rush it. Just, take it, but don't rush it and allow it to develop on its own. Right, so Libra, first one we do have for you guys, that is to be Chariot. Moving next, we do have the 3 of Pentacles. Afterwards, that is to be the 2 of Cups, followed by the 7 of Cups. And the last one we do have for you, that will be the High Priestess. And I will be damned if we're not talking about a love here with these cards, okay? Oh my God, I hate it so much when I have to talk about it. And those who knows me, that will be about soulmates. And these things are coming up more and more often into the readings I do. It's just they are coming up more and more often. So, let's address the elephant into the room. What you have to be careful about into the next upcoming couple of weeks. You got to be careful about prematurely jumping into any kind of partnerships. May that be romantic ones, or may that be business ones. Now, how to recognize the true business partnership that comes about? Well, that business partnership should not have any toxic environment. Now, when I say toxic environment, I mean a competition within. Usually having a competition within a business partnership is a good thing. It kind of makes you, keeps you on guard. It keeps you kind of like sharp, you know, but not this time around. This time around, we're talking about a complete harmony between you and your business partner. How you're going to recognize when you are ready for a romantic partnership here instead of jumping into it prematurely? Well, when there is no more shyness, no pride within the interaction in between you and the person that you are going to be interested in, or in the person that you are with right now. And here as well, it is the lesson of objectiveness, in a sense of that riding the cloud nine always ends you falling down and hitting yourself really, really hard and being very, very disappointed at the end. While instead, if you set foot firmly into the ground and be objective and true to the unfoldment, the possible unfoldment of the situation, that is going to give you much more clearance on what is to follow pretty much after. But whatever you are signing yourself up for throughout the next couple of weeks, I hope you really need it. I hope you really mean it, for it's going to be for a very, very, very long time. So if you do establish a relationship within the next couple of weeks, it will be for a very, very long time. You end up single for the next couple of weeks, it will be for a very long time. You start a job, again, for a very long time. But even if you do end up single in the next couple of weeks, the next relationship that you are going to end up with, it is exactly what I hate is going to be, what I hate saying is going to be, with someone that you are compatible on a level of souls. Which, if you want to classify it soulmate, name it soulmate. What I do like to say, these are two souls that kind of like can coexist together. So don't leave yourself being beguiled of individuals that are offering you, how can I say, material comfort. That is very important. Don't allow yourself being beguiled by a sweet talks. Don't allow yourself being criticized unjustly as well. So that was for Libra. Now moving next, we do have Scorpio. All right, so first one for Scorpio. Again, we do have the Chariot. Moving next, that is to be the Eight of Pentacles, followed by the King of Pentacles. Afterwards, that is to be the Five of Wands. And the last one we do have here, that is to be the Death card. Well, I'm not kind of surprised. I mean, it's when did we have a good reading? I mean, a reading with, how can I say, definitively positive outcome for us, Scorpio. So what that thing speaks about, it is that yet again, we are going to facing the odds. And yet again, at the end, we are going to prevail against the odds. And what these couple of weeks are going to teach us, it is how how to get the hang of an unusual situations, okay? How to survive being thrown among the sharks, how to survive being blindfolded, how to survive being surprised. Now, the good thing here from these cards, it is that should we rely solely on ourselves, should we not panic, and should we be, how can I say, aware of our own personal capabilities, these circumstances, these very surprising circumstances, now instead of deteriorating our situation, actually the opportunity that they're going to present us with is going to improve drastically our circumstances, but that is going to be only for those, once again, that do not panic and that are very confident within one's strength. At the end, what these circumstances are going to give us, it is a wish fulfillment and as well the luck of the hard work that we are going to find ourselves very, very proud of. And ultimately, at the end, what is going to be the result, what is going to be the beneficiary throughout this couple of weeks is that we do get to replace whatever doesn't work for us with something that do work for us. Meaning that we get to replace, for example, a dysfunctional project with a functional one, dysfunctional friendship with a functional one, dysfunctional relationship or a business partnership with a functional one. And once again, that is to happen through like I said, quite severe surprising events and quite severe surprising turnarounds as well within our situations. The thing is that we may kind of like think that we are prepared. We may have thought that, you know, we have attended to every single minor detail and we are ready to initiate our plan and to pretty much kill it with it. And we cannot be more wrong than that. We are not nearly ready. And once we dive into it, you know, once we strive or rather like charge forward, we are going to see how big odds actually we are facing. So yeah, that being said, that was about Scorpio. Now a second break is going to take place, and again, you can start typing your questions into the comments. I'm going to pick one question and I'm going to perform a free professional reading on it. So you can start inputting your questions now, or rather question per person. I don't know, I guess so. If I do it unconsciously because right now I'm very, very exhausted. Was reading cards all day and all night actually. So I'm very, very exhausted right now. I will. Once I finish my job tomorrow, I will get a rest. But you know, this job is all around the clock. You don't get to decide when you have rest. You just, whenever there is a work, you work. Whenever there isn't work, you do rest. Well, the Norman readings. I can do that. I haven't touched those cards for years, but I can definitely do that. It's just the thing with the Lenormand readings is that they are very, very exact. And whenever people don't like what they hear, you know, they get scared, for example, or they get repulsed. And Lenormand, the thing is that you don't get to control the cards. You don't get to ask questions. They say what they say, and you just have to deal with it. Yeah, it is. It is nice, Anna. All right, so the question that I have picked up is submitted by Jennifer Coletta. And have I manifested Sagittarius as a soulmate love? So let's have a look here. I have to learn Reiki. I don't think so. I mean, I do have the women that are working with me here in the studio. They do have Reiki, and they can channel if I ask them to. But it's kind of like, the thing is that the energy, there is no loss or win of energy. In order to put energy into me, you have to draw it from something else. So initially what they do is they are sucking the energy from something alive to transfer it into me. And that's not a good thing, is it? What do you mean with that, Sophia? I don't understand the question. To tell you why and we have no teachers, what does that mean even? All right, Jennifer, those are the cards here. We do have these three for you. And don't get me wrong, it's a pretty compatible thing, but soulmate, no. We do have a very distinct card, or a card pattern, if you will, for a soulmate, and I do not see it here. I'd simply no. But it's a very compatible thing that you are asking about. And even if it doesn't have that connection on a level of souls, it does have a connection on the 3D plane, if I may say it that way. And you can go by with it for a long run, and not just only for a long run, but you can be very, how can I say, happy with it as well. For as long as you are open for new enterprises, and for as long as you, how can I say, you are open to experience things you haven't experienced before. But if you're hoping that this Sagittarius is going to be exactly like you, and that, how can I say, that is going to manifest you, and that is going to feel what you need, that's not going to be the case at all. Here, you just, you need to say what you need, you need to say what you want, so they can accomplish it. Otherwise, they're not going to figure it out. What are the card patterns? Well, that's why I have my tarot classes. Well, that's what my tarot classes are for. Okay, a couple of minutes, guys, to rest my vocal cords, and we're going to move to the last 4 star signs, and from there, the last 3 reading is going to take place as well. Oh my God, I don't know about that. I mean, who can validate this, right? I mean, people say that it can be sent, but can you see it? Can you feel it? Especially sent to the past? What that even mean? What does that even mean? And the whole thing about the Reiki, how the Reiki was born, I don't know. I don't believe in it. I'm sorry about that, but I just don't. Thank you, Anna, for your recommendation. Yeah, and the thing is that you got to be initiated to practice Reiki. Then that begs the question: who initiated the first one? Right? That is like which is the first one? The chicken or the egg? It doesn't have an answer. Who initiated the first one? Well, there is another way how you can unblock yourself from the past. It is when you stop give a damn about it. You just stop giving a damn about it. That's a way to detach yourself from the past and heal from it as well. Yeah, I'm not saying that it isn't working. I'm just saying that I don't believe in it. That's a different story. And something else. What is that elusive something else? What does that even mean? Now, there is no such thing as a unconscious wounds, at least not for me. We all, when it comes to emotional trauma, we all choose whether we experience that emotional trauma or not. And we do have those shutting down mechanisms that we either choose to use or we choose not to use. Thank you, MP. At least that's my humble opinion, you know, and I am entitled to it as you are entitled to yours. Moving next, we do have Sagittarius. We do have for Sagittarius the Knight of Cups. Moving next, that is to be the Three of Swords. followed by the Five of Pentacles. Moving next, that is to be the Judgment. And the last one we do have, that will be the Star. It's an interesting debate. Yeah, it is. But before we go into that, don't get me wrong. There is something beyond physical capabilities. What I mean is that I'm into tarot or into astrology if I decide to go down that road, because they do have a basis. They can be explained, and I'm doing that into my classes as well, explaining how tarot works and why does it work as well. Same thing, it's about astrology. Reiki, and what was the other one? How can I say? Sikkim as well. Psychics, you don't have a proof how they work. But that doesn't mean that they don't. It is just I don't believe in it because I cannot grasp upon the mechanism how does they work. That being said though, there is one technique which is called Silver Method, which kind of it's explained how it works, but there is no definitive proof that it is exactly how it works, but nonetheless it works. And I can vouch for it because I tested it, I tried it many times, and it does work. It's just I can't explain how. And I don't believe in it either. That's why I don't practicing it anymore, because I don't know how it works. And without knowing how it works, you can do much more damage without even knowing it, instead of doing whatever you are anticipating to do. Right, so those 5 cards for Sagittarius. And here, Sagittarius, in the next couple of weeks, to their, I would say, to their surprise, what the cards are talking about, it is that they are going to see that whichever corners or whatever corners they're trying to cut through, there is no cutting through. I mean, you pretty much have to do the heavy lifting yourself. And at the start, that is going to feel overwhelming. At the start, you're going to feel truly with your back against the wall. At the start, you're going to feel like you're making 1 step progress, 2 steps backwards. But that is just only at the start. When you kind of like look around yourself, moving forward into the next couple of weeks, and you analyze the predicaments that you are facing, you are to see that those predicaments aren't exactly that hard and difficult to deal with. It's just the problem is their sheer quantity that you are going to have. A quantity that may make you, how can I say, a bit uncertain, or rather like not the uncertain is not the word, unsecure in whichever field those predicaments are. And that will be the sense of emergency that you need to follow, which wherever the sense is highest, this is where you need to put your immediate attention into, instead of dealing with the more pleasant predicaments and moving to more unpleasant predicaments. You first need to tackle with those that are causing more sense of, how can I say, how did I say it? Sense of uncertainty and sense of insecurity. Now, that being said here, what you are going to learn throughout this lunar cycle, it is that whenever you do chase some kind of a goal, you know, whenever you do have to incorporate some kind of a work, everything it is like a puzzle, right? You cannot have the full picture, or you cannot have the prize with the pieces of the puzzle missing. And that is why you cannot cut any corners. You pretty much need to do everything, every single, how can I say, side, or every single enterprise, every single endeavor within the enterprise needs to be executed here. Now, that being said as well, the whole thing is going to open up a new option available for you, an option available that you have no idea existed up until now. That is going to be the most beneficial option available for you, an option available that is going to give you a thing that you can look forward to in a long term. No different than how can I say, no different than having two people to date with. You don't know which one to choose from, and you decide not to cut any corners with them, meaning you do not give anybody the benefit of the doubt here, but instead waiting to see which one is going to become more, how can I say, more compatible, let's say it that way. Seeing many problems in each one of them that the relationship or future relationship can pose on both sides. And as you do see that, suddenly a third option available, or a third party appears that happens to be the perfect match. But you would never see this one should you have not recognized the sense of uncertainty you obtained in regards to either of the previous options available you had. I hope that that doesn't sound very complicated, but here it is recognizing that there is no easy way through, but you actually have to take under a consideration, under a account, every single aspect of your job, of your love life as well, of your friendships, so on and so forth, and then the true option available for you opens up and appears. Hello, Katie. Kind of exhausted, but other than that, I'm doing just fine. Yeah. People you are going to be surprised, but currently there are people that don't believe that the earth is round either. Yeah. I'm watching a channel here and there it's kind of like arguing with people with so-called flat earthers, and it's kind of hilarious. But the thing is that you can prove that the earth is round, but you cannot prove that Reiki works. For all I can say, it could be the placebo effect, right? You know that somebody makes Reiki on you, and that way you feel fine because you do believe that it should work. But for all I care, if you don't know that somebody makes Reiki on you, you would never know that somebody made Reiki on you, and that's why you never know that it's worked out. So you see where I'm coming from? The earth is not flat at all. Right, so Capricorn, first one we do have for you guys, that is to be the Seven of Wands. Moving next, that is to be the Lover's card. Followed by the Two of Cups. Moving next, we do have the Ace of Swords. And the last one for you, Capricorn, that is to be the Nine of Swords. It's again, for all I care, that could be the placebo effect, because you do have an expectation that you're going to get better and you are beguiling yourself to think so. That is how the placebo works. And it's proven that it works. Okay, it's just, they give you a pill that doesn't do anything. They tell you that you're going to get better and suddenly you get better. That's not Reiki. It's called placebo effect. It's because your mind plays tricks on you. But like I said, do Reiki on somebody that you don't tell that they're going to do Reiki on them. And then a couple of weeks after that, ask them how they feel a couple of weeks ago and see if they're going to notice any difference. I bet they won't. So, and if they do repeat that experiment few times, but change the spacing of the interval of time, and if every time they feel exponentially better within the time frame you made Reiki without them knowing though, then you can say it works. Because right now, for all I know, that's just the placebo effect. Right, so we digressed. Capricorn. Those are the 5 cards we do have for you guys. And it seems that within the next couple of weeks here, you are going to truly have to, how can I say, struggle to get a grip and gnash your teeth and kind of like, how do you say, catch up on the last straw to determine yourself to stay into something. That is because the more the cycle advances, the more reason you're going to see catching up with the thing or staying up with the thing itself. Say a business project, the more and more the cycle advance, the more the less and less, how can I say, benefits you're going to see from it, and the less and less sense and reason you're going to see sticking with it. Same thing could be about relationship as well. The more and more the lunar cycle drags in, the less and less you're going to feel like entitled to any kind of partnership or to any kind of relationship as well. And we're definitely talking about partnerships here. Personal goals, that will be just fine with personal goals. But why it is the partnership kind of like affected? That is because the longer the cycle prolongs forward, or rather like pushes forward, the more you're going to start realizing that it is not that bad being by yourself. It is not that bad being alone. It is not that bad making business by yourself. It is not that bad not having an ideal relation or not having a relationship unless it is an ideal one. All right. It is just you're not going to be afraid of the consequences that you're going to pose on yourself by making a conscious decision here. And the thing it is that the more the cycle moves forward, the more you're going to see that situation for what the situation truly is. And if I have to explain it in a term of relationships, you know, when you get introduced with somebody and you really like the woman or you really like the guy and you see only the positive quirks and the positive traits into this person, okay? And you are pretty much ignorant for everything negative. But the more you interact with this individual, woman or a man, it doesn't really matter, the more you start to observe their negative quirks. And at the end, you do see the person for what they truly is. And this is how, by the way, a relationship ends up. When people realize that they haven't signed for that. They have signed for something else. And that is what happens to you here. And you are going to have the real diagnosis over the partnerships you are in right now. Some of the partnerships are going to prove themselves lucrative or happy and you're going to keep up with them. Some of them won't. Now, the problem with those that they won't, it will be because it's going to be very difficult for you to make a decision. For these people, they're going to mean really something to you. Now, that's kind of scary because, you know, my business partner is Capricorn. Hopefully, they don't decide to kind of like cut me loose. But in any case, yeah, I mean, it's going to be pretty much, it's going to be an internal struggle here with yourself, cutting these people loose. because, like I said, you're going to be better off then. It's as simple as that. And this cycle, the more you, no matter how much you try to, let's say, impose yourself otherwise, the truth about the situation is just going to gouge your eyes out. Okay, it's just going to gouge your eyes out. So it will be undeniable. That's what I'm trying to say here. Okay, I have been reassured that that ain't gonna happen. With me, that is. Okay, but also assurance that it may happen to something else or somebody else. It doesn't matter. But in any case, yeah, it's just that that's the case with you. And the thing is that this time around, what it is peculiar here for you, Capricorn, it is that you're not doing it from your impulsive nature. Now, this time around, you have a full grasp upon the consequences of it, and you're totally fine. You will be totally fine with whatever consequences that brings to you. Right, so moving next, we do have Aquarius. It is unnecessary, because why do you need Reiki to believe in yourself? Why do you need Reiki to be organized? Why do you need Reiki to restore your energy if you if you are healthy? And so to be healthy, you just have to live a happy life, because illnesses, they're mostly caused from you being anxious and when your mind suffers. So Reiki is completely, you do have a point here, 7. Reiki is completely unnecessary if you do have a happy life. And if you don't have a happy life, then Reiki ain't going to fix it at all. It's just, you have to fix it from within. You have to change something about your life. All right, so I'm being skeptical. Well, I'm going to tell you a story, okay, before we go into that, and that will be the last time we mention Reiki. So a friend of mine lost their keys, their second level initiated or whatever, they made Reiki to find their keys. I found the keys. Not Reiki, not my friend, it is me who found the keys. Now you can say that Reiki made me. I don't believe so. So no, I don't believe in it. Right, so Aquarius, first one that we do have, that is to be the Temperance. Moving next, we do have the High Priestess, followed by the 6 of Cups. Afterwards, what we do have, that is to be the Hermit. And the last one, that will be the Fool once again. We do have, again, the Fool. Can Reiki heal terminal cancer? I reckon not. And rest assured, Reiki definitely cannot stop my pain when I'm going through kidney crisis. So why do I need it? It just doesn't make any sense. So I can tell you that pain is excruciating. It's truly excruciating. All right, so Aquarius. The thing about you guys throughout this cycle, it's that you're gonna get back in track, if I may say that way, or kind of like get back on track with your things, whether they are to be love or whether they are to be in terms of a career as well. Now, the redirection of your resources, your time, and as well, how can I say, your focus is going to completely change from being way too active or way too ignorant to one or another thing. Instead, you are going to start spreading more your time, your resources into everything that life has to offer. Finding if you will, the happiness in whichever activities you do have in front of you, and after that, cutting loose those that simply does not provide. So from being humble and submissive to life, you instead are going to force life for yourself. That is through action this time around, denying failure, denying certain developments, denying certain unfoldments as well, and seeking your happiness. No different than, you know, in the medieval age, when people were unhappy about the place they were living in, they were just picking up their things and seeking their luck elsewhere. But here, if you are unhappy with certain development, you are just going to cut, or you should cut that development loose and try your luck with another development. The thing is that as we do have the Fool at the end of the reading here, or at the 5th position, you get to experience a lot of new enterprises, a lot of new endeavors, a lot of new people to meet and to interact with, a lot of new suitors to date, a lot of new projects for you to as well develop. You have to choose which one of those you are going to undertake, and that's the core reason of this cycle itself, to identify what is the substantial amongst many. And once you do identify that, which is going to happen through a sheer wisdom and intelligence for you, then it's pretty much you are going to start revolving your life around it, and your life is going to obtain purpose should it has no purpose right now. And if it does have purpose at this point, that is just going to be one solid addition to that purpose itself. But if you are wondering, am I doing the right thing, or am I on track with my career, with my relationship, whatever circumstances or whatever enterprises, whatever changes are to happen throughout these weeks, these couple of weeks coming forward, they are going to set you on track should you not be on track right now. And if you are on track right now, you're going to have a sign that you are on track, so you do not deviate from that particular path. But on a more practical level here, there are going to be a lot of chores for you to undertake career-wise or relationship-wise, and you are going to have no problem whatsoever undertaking these chores. To inform myself, you informed me enough that some guy received it from something, which for all I know, everybody could state that. You know, everybody could state that. Could state that. You're welcome, Floramel. Well, it is what I think. It is what I think everybody could state that they have received it from something else. What I look into, it's proof. Have that changed the life of many terminally ill? I haven't read about it. You know, I haven't read about it. Whenever Reiki heals terminal cancer, then I'm going to believe in it. Because it's about that. It's about healing, isn't it? Heal it. And then I'm going to believe in it. Heal, I don't know, something that the medicine cannot. And then I'm going to believe in it. Otherwise, for all I know, it's placebo. It's not only one person. You make it second one. Because what I know from one person is that somebody received it through meditation, and they actually received the guidance that they can do it, and that they should spread it among the world. Toward what purpose though? Nobody knows. Because if something doesn't have a purpose, then it becomes purposeless, isn't it? It becomes meaningless if it doesn't have any purpose. That's true. My path is my own. Right, Pisces. We have the Chariot as the first card. Moving next, that is to be the Death card, followed by the Knight of Eight Pentacles. Moving next, we do have the Hermit, and the last one for you, Pisces, that is to be the Seven of Cups. Those 5 cards. And you, Pisces, throughout these couple of weeks, you are going to be very, very resistant of letting go things. I don't know if it's going to be to your benefit or to your detriment, but you can definitely gonna be able to resist the let go of, in a sense of that. I will try to give you that example. In a sense of that, if you have been cooked to be laid off from work, you will be able to resist that. In a sense of that, you will be able to grapple on that job and stick around. Same thing goes about, say, a relationship. Say your partner have planned to leave you behind. Somehow you will manage to avoid that. But I don't know if that is going to be to your detriment or to your benefit, looking at these cards. What I can tell you here is that you need to very seriously think about what do you want. That comes into the intentions and the guidance as well. And not just only that, but whenever you do identify what do you want, you need to immediately have the answer how you are going to have it. If what you want appears to be a wishful thinking, then avoiding the change is going to be to your detriment. But if what you want, it happens to be something very achievable and reachable with the means you do have and with a plan that you can sustain, then it's going to be to your benefit, to be to your benefit. So, yeah, I mean, you are going to have not just the jail-free card these couple of weeks, you have the cheating death card. Okay, you definitely have the cheating death card. And I hope that you do not, how can I say, oversell yourself. For with the Seven of Cups at the end of the reading, this card pretty much points that one way or another, how do I say it? One way or another, you're going to end up on the destination that you are traveling toward, But the thing is that you don't want to carry on a dead weight with it. You don't want to carry on an unhealthy habit, for example, or a dysfunctional relationship, you know, or a miserable job. You just don't want to do that. So for that reason, it will be important here, like I said, to focus on what you truly want, and is what you already have can give it to you. If not, then it's time to let go. If it can though, then you definitely can use that cheating death card and pretty much keep up with it and borrow its time moving forward. Or in other words, give it a second chance. It all depends on you guys. It's all within your power. It's all within your capabilities, and all boils down to your decision as well. Whenever you are to make that decision, please do not make it emotional. Please dive, or rather like not dive, but drawn from your intelligence and from your wisdom, for this is what it's going to take for you to foresee what is going to work for you moving forward. Other than that, guys, this lunar cycle for you, it will be a cycle for a tremendous push forward and a triumph against the odds. So that triumph, once again, it could be to your benefit, but unfortunately as well, it could be to your detriment. The very least, it is because you're going to waste your time and your effort if what you want, it's not achievable through what you already have. All right, so that concludes the all 12 star signs, and now the last giveaway is going to take place, so you can start asking your question or inputting your question into the comments here down below. And I'm going to pick one in 5 minutes, and I'm going to perform a professional reading on it. So it's like a cult. Is that what you're saying? Because it sounds like a cult, like a sect. You gotta be initiated. Oh, you don't have to be embarrassed, MP. You don't have to be embarrassed. Just ask anybody asks. Well, shyness can't get you further, mate. I mean, it cannot get you far. Yeah. That's a good counter, Helen. That's a good counter. You couldn't I couldn't done it better. Yeah, we can agree or disagree. That's true. But guys, believe it or not, I am a person of science and I do practice tarot because I can explain it through science. I can explain it through the third law of physics. Okay? And I have done that many times. This, what we're talking about, that cannot be explained. It is just somebody said something and somebody felt good about it. This is what it boils down to. You cannot see it, you cannot explain it. It's just, you just have to accept that it is. And I'm sorry that I can't. I can't. Should you ask me one? Just hold on a second. I can answer yours whenever you want to. You know that I'm doing it. So let's pick one. And that will be Angelica S. Is he really the one? So I assume we're looking from a love perspective here of the one. So let me have a look. Those are the cards. First thing we see, no major arcana. So I reckon there is a better D1 than this one. But this one is definitely a 1. What I mean is that with this one, you can definitely have peace, you can definitely have comfort, and you can definitely have harmony. Okay, so if that's what you're after, then that's D1. If you are after, how can I say, a big love coming in and I don't know how to say it. It's not faithful. I would not name it karmic, but more like a significant, like the biggest thing in your life, and that's not the one. Okay, but if I were at your shoes, Angelica, I would have bet into this one because it definitely can create comfort. It definitely can. How can I say? It can transcend. Transcend your experience into something you haven't expected, and yeah, I mean, you can, if you go down that road, you can make family. Now the thing is that it's not going to be very versatile in the sense of that it will become monotonous with time, which sticks with the predictability, sticks with the comfort, sticks with the, how can I say, sense of certainty and as well sense of security. So if that's what you are after, then that's the one. If not, then it is not the one. Right, yeah guys, thank you all for watching. It was a nice discussion as well, and I hope you all heard, and also you are respectable to the floral oh my god, floral opinion. Like I said, in this at least in my live streams, there are no wrong points of view. I mean, everybody is entitled to their own. And I would like people to, as they are to respect mine, also to respect the one that is has an opposing point of view. Because like I said, into that discussion, there is no proof. No, I cannot prove that I'm right, nor Florimel can prove that she is right as well, or he. So, yeah, I mean, it is just a discussion that anybody can decide which side wants to be at, and that doesn't mean that we have to be enemies to one another. It's just, you know, through discussion, truth is revealed at some point. So yeah, that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching, and again, it was an honor for me to be your host tonight. And stick around into the YouTube channel, because the weekly readings for the February 15th up until February 21st should be up in the next few days, before Monday, that's for sure. I have 3 more to perform before I upload all of them, and that is going to happen in the next couple of days. We will see, hopefully tomorrow, but I'm no guaranteed. All right, things can go sour, and yeah, we're going to see each other around. Until then, bye.